Alright, Shalom now. Wait, it says it going to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim. Spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and Shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright, I had a part 1 live on Satan versus Satan. And I'm doing a part 2. I go into some scriptures based on what I brought out in part 1 about, because these devils, they turning on each other. Yeah, you have Seth Rogen going in on his brethren, the Zionist so-called Jews, which are really of the seed of Amalek, and which are really of the seed of Amalek. Amalekites are Edomites. And Portland was going on over there. Actually, I played a video. There's more material I gotta go into, because Portland, I was playing a video on what was happening in Portland, because it's Satan versus Satan too, because you got most of the people that are holding signs, holding BLM signs and rioting over there, they're so-called white people, they're Edomites. And so most of the people that would be getting arrested, getting beat up by the cops over there in Portland would be Edomites. Getting beat up by Edomite cops, so Satan versus Satan playing out there too. And the police departments, Satan. Police departments refuse to protect DNC, Satan. That's playing out there too on the I guess a little higher level. Between two agencies, two entities, two organizations that are supposed to be working with each other. They're actually turning on each other. That's just that's Satan versus Satan. That's the curses hitting Esau, Edom. On lower level, like, lower level Edomites versus the cops, which they're not, they're like a step above them. And in Hollywood, Seth Rogen versus the Zionists, the Amalekites. And of course, the police departments turning on the Democratic Blue Devils, the so-called cool devils. So I was playing a video on Portland, on what's going on in Portland. I'm gonna get back to it. My phone died, and phone is always slow as fuck when I'm doing a live. That's just Satan doing his thing. So just beware of that whenever you're watching my lives. Satan gonna fuck with my technology. Just like you. YouTube isn't responding. Did that on the last live. Just gotta wait. I ain't gonna give up. Speaking of Esau versus Esau, Satan versus Satan, man decapitates landlord over land dispute. It looks like he may be a Edomite, and there's a lot of landlords. I'm not saying all of them, but a landlord could be Edomite too, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of landlords. A lot of them are Esau or heathen. But you do have some Jake landlords. I'm just saying that it looks like it could be another Satan versus Satan event. That's another one. So-called Jews are turning on each other in the land. Alright, I'm gonna have to look it up again. Let me just get this one since I got some time today. By the way, if I'm not on the stream lives, I can't see your comments. So whenever I check to see them, I'll reply to them. Edomites, American Babylonian Edomites are burning the American Babylonian flag. Satan versus Satan, right there.
Watch George Floyd die on camera. Around with their iPhone recording it, and they do. It was just like, this is enough. It's gotta stop.
How many did you see? Protest versus federal agents. It's versus the federal agents.
I'm so tired of this. I am so tired. I'm sleep deprived because I'm a single mom and I work full time and I have to come and spend my nights with you because I can't stand in my own streets and say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. That's why we're here. We're not here because some building. We don't care about the building. We don't care about your stupid fence. We care about Black lives. And I'm a mom, and I heard George when he called out Mama. That's why I'm here.
It's
That's why I'm here.
It's Edomites. So-called liberal Edomite protesting against the cops. I know maybe Jake scattered among them, but it's mainly Esau. Like there may be Israelites scattered among so-called white people that are there, but it's mainly Esau. The majority of them are those Antifa Edomites. But anyways, that's another example of how Satan is coming against Satan. I'm not sure if I played a video, a news clip of the cops refusing to protect the DNC, but let me get it just in case I didn't go into it. I think maybe I did. But I'm just gonna replay it.
This is Goblin 7. This whole thing started with the whole defund the police game where police were like, okay, we're going to stop doing this and that. They just told someone in Vegas that they better not call 911 if they need help since they're supporting to defund them. They're basically saying you better stop and think about what you're doing and supporting here because if you want to defund us, we will no longer exist. And whether we want to show up or not, because of the way you're being, if we're totally defunded, we will not be there to serve and protect the people, period, including your business. And this is changing the tune of many people that are having these goons, by design, come through their neighborhoods and ransack their small businesses, busting out their windows and destroying everything, trying to beat them into submission. Now, the police are basically saying, and the police have not been perfect by no means as well. We know that cops have committed atrocities across the country, left and right, and around the world. And it will continue to happen. Okay? It will. Just like thugs will continue to rob places. There's going to be corruption.
They want all the funding that they could get.
It's never going to just disappear 100%.
Jobs.
Okay, so it's there. We get that. But when you pull these police out of different areas, it sets the stage for mad chaos, if you didn't realize already. If you didn't see the cops just standing there when I was in Louisville, buildings burning, smashing windows, knocking people out, cops didn't do nothing. They sat there because they were given orders to sit there and watch. These are the same men that took an oath to serve and protect and are being told to sit there. So, they're warning that they're not going to be in Milwaukee for this DNC convention. At least 100 different agencies canceling agreements. Now there's word that there may be massive protest up here. And isn't it just peculiar that they make this move and right on the heels, right at the same time, Barr just announces an uptick, a significant increase in resources in 3 places: Detroit, Cleveland, and Milwaukee.
Yeah, because that...
So this time around, it's not going to be protesters come this election time.
Because I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. This whole, we want to cut funds for the cops. That whole movement, the fund the police movement, it ain't about stopping police brutality. Ain't about stopping Esau Edom from fucking up you Jakes. They're just consolidating the police under the federal level, and then eventually they're gonna have UN Gurkha troops on the streets like this. That's all it is. Esau Edom, whether it's the Democrats, the so-called liberals, or the conservative Republican proud red devils, whether it's the cool, the cool blue devils, they try to play cool, act like they're a friend type devils, or it's the proud red Republican MAGA hat wearing devils. Both of them, they don't love you Jakes. They have no love for you Jakes. They don't give a fuck about you Jakes. They actually hate you Jakes. They hate your guts. Both of them. One just acts like they're your friend, and the other ones, the proud red ones, they show you how they feel about you, depending on how far right they are.
Right around the corner. It's not going to be protesters and police so much. It's going to be protesters and federales.
We're already seeing that in Portland.
America, you better take a good look in the mirror and see what's happening, and then see where we're heading with all this. I'm telling you, they've got something in the works here for this election that ain't never been seen before in terms of getting people pissed off and in the streets. Are you going to get provoked, or are you going to be someone that is smarter and more intelligent?
I have a feeling too. I have a feeling that ain't gonna be no election. Based off all the shit that's going on, I have a feeling that they're gonna be like, it's just too much shit going on. It ain't safe for people to be going out and voting. We ain't gonna have an election.
And that sees the tactic being used. Or are you gonna get sucked into it? Those are some of the key questions you need to ask yourself. And I'm going to break this down further on the next live stream because it deserves it. Tonight, going live, 9 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern over here on D-Live. You'll find links below in the description box. And I really look forward to seeing some of you guys over here. This is where it goes down when we're talking about all this.
Alright, so anyways, the point is that the cops are, they're the Roman centurions, they're Esau Edom. The departments, they're run by Esau Edom. If there's Jakes in there, they're working for Esau Edom. They're the Roman centurions. And the Roman centurions, they look at it this way, are refusing to protect the plebeians, which those are the Democrats today. They're refusing to protect them. One group of Romans refusing to protect another. One group, modern day Romans, one group of Edomites refusing to protect another. They're not gonna have their fellow Edomites back. That is Satan versus Satan too. Cause there is gonna, y'all just saw in this video, there's gonna be riots and shit by these Edomites that are the same ones that are in Portland, the same type of devils, and they're mostly Edomites. You saw in the riots, it was mostly Edomites destroying property and shit. Very few Jakes. But all this is, of course, to blame Jake, because the name of the movement is Black Lives Matter. All this is to blame Judah, really, and by association, you so-called Latinos and natives, because Esau, Edom, y'all may see yourselves as different than each other, but Esau, Edom, and the heathen see you Latinos and you natives in the same way that they see Judah, the so-called black people. They see y'all in the same way. Y'all are all niggas to him. You Latinos, they see y'all as Spanish-speaking niggas, and some of y'all have a different textured hair. You natives, they just see y'all as Indian niggas, pretty much. They just see y'all as as Indian niggas, as they used to call y'all, and they still do. They still do a bit. They used to call y'all prayer niggas and shit, except with the ER, a hard R. They used to call y'all that, because y'all are the same people as so-called black people. And Esau, Edom, and the other heathen nations, somehow they're able to see that, but y'all can't see it yourself. But and 2/3 of y'all are not gonna see it. Y'all gonna continue to see yourselves as separate people than your so-called black brothers. Most of y'all are just blind and except for y'all are gonna continue to see yourselves that way, and Esau is gonna put his foot up your ass, and he's gonna remind you that you're the same people. He's gonna treat you the same way. Then you're gonna see it. That's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take Esau, Edom, putting his foot up your ass and treating you like Judah, like the so-called black people, for y'all to realize that y'all ain't better than so-called black people. It goes for you Northern Kingdom and you Israelite foreigners. You go back to, you look like a so-called white person, Asian, Arab, which Ishmael, Pacific Islander, Japhite, East Indian, Elamite, even a Hamite, because Ham does have a different look. It's just not that different. They have the so-called Negro look, except it's a different facial features that they have. Ham just has different type of look. But anyways, y'all belong to these people I mean, y'all look like a heathen, but y'all go back to so-called blacks. Or y'all go back to Northern Kingdom. Some of y'all are Northern Kingdom Israelite foreigners. And a lot of you, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of you Irish and Sicilian, Southern Italian, a lot of y'all are. But a lot of you Israelite foreigners, from no matter what heathen nation you look like, one way it tells if this message, you identify with it, you know. It speaks to your soul. That's one way you could tell. You going through the curses, Deuteronomy 28. You don't have to be going through all of them on the same at the same level. You go through one way more than you go through another. But anyways, yeah, y'all are gonna learn. You Israelites that, you know, y'all are not so-called black, so y'all don't look at yourselves the same. Y'all don't see so-called black people as brothers. Y'all are gonna learn that y'all are the same people the hard way. You 2/3 are gonna learn the hard way, since y'all couldn't learn the easy way from these videos. Y'all gonna learn via the school of hard knocks. Esau knocking you upside your head. But anyways, yeah, all these incidents, Seth Rogen calling out the Zionists, the Amalekites, the Portland riots, mostly Edomites rioting and fighting with the cops over there, and now they're fighting with the federal agents and the PDs, the Roman centurions. Very weird. Very weird. But, you know, I guess thinking not strange, the fiery trial are gonna hit us. That's just Satan. And we're getting tried out here. We're getting tried like gold. Acceptable man. Get tried in the furnace of adversity. Alright, let me get the, matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up since I don't have it. I don't have the verse by memory. I'm not on that level yet. Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah, verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So America, is divided. It's divided in many ways, and so it's not the United States of America, it's the divided states of America, and it's not gonna stand. Verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall his kingdom stand? It's not gonna stand. So, there's another. Oh yeah, in Daniel, it speaks of this kingdom that we in, the iron mixed with clay, which is, I believe, in this chapter. Yeah. Verse Daniel 12, verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with clay. So what do we say about a kingdom divided against itself? What do we say about that? When we say about that, shall not stand. Verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. So partly strong. Well, it goes into the Democrat. No. It goes into the stronger countries of NATO in the EU and the weaker countries. But also the military strength. It had the military strength of the Roman Empire, but it's also so-called democratic and all that. You can look at it that way. They're supposed to be for the people, so yeah, they have to. So the people ain't with it. Their agenda pretty much gets delayed. Verse 43. And whereas thou saw iron mixed with, this goes into something else, mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is mixed with clay. So that goes into something else. Goes into Esau's beast system, NATO and the EU. So like NATO and the EU, like trying to make deals with China, the Arabs, Iran, these different, the seed of men, the regular heathen nations. But some shit comes up, it don't. Also, you have these heathen nations that are like they've immigrated, people from these heathen nations that immigrated to America, immigrated to these different areas, and these Edomites and them and those heathen nations, they don't get along. Like, they don't like each other. Like in Britain, for example, you have a lot of Elam and Ishmael that go over there, and the British Edomites, they don't like them. They call them Pakis and shit. They're against each other. They shall not cleave to one to another. These heathen nations, they have their own culture and shit. Even though they adopt some ways of Esau's to make it in this society, they still got their own culture and shit. It's another way that it's divided, because they're supposed to be citizens of these Edomite countries. but they have their own. They have their own culture, their own ways of doing shit. They're not like completely assimilated with the Babylonian Western culture. And also, what's going on is so it's partly broken too. So we supposedly have rights. So they're saying we have rights. So Seth Rogen can, like freedom of speech. So Seth Rogen can put the Zionist Amalekites on blast, and they could do what they do in Portland. They can't openly come crush opposition. They have to do fucking psyops and shit. That's also how it's partly broken. And that's how it's being brought to desolation. Just as how we was brought down during the Middle Ages after Esau Edom was coming up. We was divided against each other. We was fighting wars against each other. When we was ruling Europe, the UK versus France, France versus Germany versus Spain, is different wars. Versus the Holy Roman Empire, we was fighting different wars against each other. And also the Northern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom wasn't all united whenever the conquistadors came. Now they were divided against each other, and that's what made it so easy for Esau, Edom, for the Spanish-speaking Edomites, and the English-speaking Edomites, and the French-speaking Edomites, to the Dutch-speaking Edomites to come over and do what they, and Portuguese-speaking Edomites to come over and do what they did. Do what they did. It made it easier for them to take over. So all they did was use divide and conquer. They used our people to conquer our people. So you look at it this way, Yahweh Shai, well Yahweh, before he sends Yahweh Shai, which is, they had Columbus, we have Yahweh Shai. So before he sends Yahweh Shai down, he's using one group of Edomites to take out another. And really, that's actually how Esau Edom is gonna fall. Because the Russian Edomites and the Babylonian Edomites are gonna nuke each other. And the so-called European Edomites, NATO, the beast, the EU, is going to turn against the whore. So that's Satan versus Satan on a larger scale, and that's how this devil kingdom is going to fall. That's how his rulership is going to fall. Yahweh is going to use one group of Edomites to bring down another. This is really these devils. This is the curses hitting these devils, and it's also these devils falling into their own trap. Let me get that. Cause didn't Amalek set these Edomite Russians up over Russia? They overthrew the czars. Didn't they set them up over? Even Putin, he was a ex KGB agent. KGB was set up by the Soviets, was set up by Amalek. They set up Putin, just as they set up Putin, and of course they set up Babylon, and they set up NATO. So I gotta get this. Or this one. Proverbs 11 verse 5. I gotta get this one quick. Verse 5. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. Verse 6. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. Oh yeah, Khan. Verse 3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. There you go. That is what's going on. That's what's going on. Also this one. They're falling by their own device. They're falling they're falling because of their own plans. They causing their own fall pretty much. Yeah, Khan. Psalms 141. Verse 10. Keep me from verse 9. Keep me from sin which they have laid for me, and the grins of the workers of iniquity. Verse 10. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape. And that's exactly what's happening. Alright, now let me go into Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. What it entails, what it means. Verse 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee is persecuted thee. And you see that happening. If you look at Deuteronomy 28, it's around this neighborhood, it's around this area. Verse 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards his wife, toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the women of his children, which he shall leave. This is starting to happen to these Edomites. And these lower level Edomites, they're going to be caught up in the siege too. Verse 55, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of the children whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. They're going to be they're going to be distressed in all their gates too. They're going to be caught up in the siege too. Verse 36, this is happening. This is starting to happen to them too. The tender and delicate woman among you which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. Verse, and this shit is gonna happen to them because it's Jacob's trouble. It's gonna happen to us. Like, it's gonna happen to us, to our people, not to us. Not to me, but to our people. Not to us, but to the 2/3 of our people. This is gonna be basically Jacob's trouble is basically the like the worst of the curses. You know, the curses destroying Jake, basically pursuing and destroying Jake. But also these lower level devils, lowercase e's, are going to be affected by this too. Verse 57, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in siege and straitness, or with thy enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The enemies of these Edomites are going to be these other Edomites. Before we come and take these devils down, you know, with Yahweh and angels, they're gonna be their own worst enemy. And so you see these curses being divided, basically. They're having the evil eye towards each other is happening to them. That's how their kingdom is falling. Alright, so I hope this I'm gonna end it right there, cause I wasn't gonna make it that long anyways. So I hope this live was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim. Spread this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners that look like the other nations, but their spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright, stay strong. Man and women of until next time, shalom.